Why did you start driving? Why did you decide to take the leap and get behind one of these big beasts? What was your motivation to do that? How did you decide that this lifestyle was for you? What challenges did you have to overcome to obtain your CDL? What family members did you have to upset? Which family members praised you? Everyone who is set behind this wheel, every nationality, every age, and every gender has had to overcome some type of challenge to sit behind this wheel and drive one of these beasts. What's the reason behind it? Was it the freedom of being your own boss? Was it the lack of communication you had to do with some people? Were you running for something? Were you seeking a better life? Were you a multiple generation driver? Did you just want to get out and see the country and get paid to do it? Every single one of you, including myself, had a reason for getting behind this wheel. I was late in life when I did it. I was in my 30s. I'm a third generation driver. My grandfather did it so long ago before there was even logbooks. That's how long he drove. Then my dad did it. My dad died behind the wheel. Well, let me rephrase that. The wheel, being behind the wheel, affected my dad's health bad enough that less than a year and a half after getting off the road, he died. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about you, about me, about each and every one of you who does drive. What keeps you out here? Is it the freedom? Is it hitting that stretch of I-80 through Wyoming in the summertime? Or the early fall when the weather is just perfect and you're cruising up and down those hills going over Elk Mountain? Is it going through Tennessee, up Mount Eagle, down it when the weather's just perfect? Taking I-10 through Arizona, New Mexico, all that, just out there just cruising, living your life? Is it the brother and sisterhood that you have out here? Is it the fact that you are an individual who likes to be cranky, who likes to be mean, who is often unhappy, but you thrive off of that? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just your DNA, your makeup of who you are. But is that what drives you to do this job? Everyone out here is out here for a reason. Now, you may be a veteran driver who dislikes the new drivers and the new style of drivers, and you don't want to teach them and train them in the ways that you were taught. And unfortunately, while that is a good thing sometimes that you do teach us, times are changing, not just for this industry, but for individuals and how they feel and react themselves to certain things. I am nowhere like the driver my grandfather was. No one out here today would be a driver like my grandfather was, because we're not born and raised in that time. Now, people my dad's age, they have a little bit of that in them because they were there. They experienced that life. I have a little bit of my dad's in me because I got to experience that. If my kids decide to drive, they won't have none of my grandfather or their great grandfather. None. They'll have what I teach them, what I pass down along. We as drivers have to help our newfound brothers and sisters. Whether they've been out here on the road one day or they're getting ready to go to school. Yes, we all know new drivers need better training. We all know older drivers need training, retraining sometimes. And that's okay. That's part of life. You never stop learning. We can't bash new drivers for wanting to get out here and live the dream. There's more than enough freight for all of us. We have to welcome our brothers and sisters. We have to be one with each other. Get out here on the open road. crack your window down. Listen to that hum of those tires. You know, there's certain parts of the road where my tires make just this sweet music. And I love it. I love every single mile of it. I can drive with no radio on. I can drive rain, snow, shine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. I love what I do. I've not worked a day since I started doing this job. The distance away from family is terrible. My family knows what I do. They love what I do. The joy on my kids' faces when they see Daddy rolling in is wonderful. It doesn't match the pain it is when I'm leaving and coming back out. But everything I do is for my family. And everything you do is for your family. And if you're single, it's because you do it for the road. A piece of you, a piece of that road is in your blood. There's diesel in your veins and smoke in our brains. We love what we do. We are Trucker Strong. You are Trucker Strong.